where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense. And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked.
All right, guys. So what we're going to be going over today is Nick Shirley's video. It's kind of long. It covers a lot of different things that's going on. I think I'll stop it here and there to comment on it, but this is kind of wild. Let's get into it.
How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing?
So just to put this in perspective, I know he's kind of boiling it down and giving you the rundown. Think about the amount of blatant fraud that has to be going on for just a random person to be like, wait a second, I never see any kids going to these daycares, these transportation agencies that are springing up everywhere. They don't ever have any passengers. I'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, just to put it in perspective for you, it must be that blatant that someone has taken the time and gone down this rabbit hole before Nick Shirley even gets on board with this.
So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So that's roughly 80% of all the non-emergency medical transports, which he did a little bit of job explaining it, but let me break that down for you. So a non-emergency medical transport is essentially any transport that is not at least a BLS ambulance or above. So you have your wheelchair vans and stuff like that. So Medicare actually requires a specific form called a PCS, a physician's care statement, I believe is what it's called, for any BLS, ALS, or critical care transports. It's a huge business. I don't believe Medicare directly reimburses non-emergency transports. Like it's not funded that way. That's usually a state thing, and they're typically cheaper transports. So whereas an ambulance ride in my area would cost about $1,200 for your lowest level, plus your starting mileage, this would be, around $50 and a couple dollars per mile is what you would be charged for one of these transports. Now, where we get into the fraud with that is, say I am getting reimbursed from the state, and I just start claiming a whole bunch of trips, from X hospital to X nursing home, from X nursing home to X dialysis center, and I just start pushing paper around, and that's how you can get into fraud with that. And doesn't sound like in this case there's a whole lot of oversight on that. They just kind of cash the check.
So right here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children.
That's kind of suspicious that there'd be one brick and mortar thing. I don't know if anybody's ever gone to a daycare center, but there's typically, just to keep branding consistent, usually only one business per lot.
I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and even though.
So what I would be curious to try to, understand, to lay out for some people that may be a little bit skeptical, is how exactly are they pushing this fraud through, right? So you would think that if you're getting government grants and government payments, and you have a business, and there's all sorts of regulations that go into it. I don't own a business myself, but I know a lot of people that have owned their own businesses, and I have started businesses before. There's a lot of, specific things that you have to do to prove that you even exist. So it'd be interesting to see how they're getting these numbers. He said they're, certified for X number of kids, and they're getting grants based off of the amount of kids that they're certified for. Is it just you're certified for those kids and you get the grants, or should you have to prove that, Susie from XYZ address goes to my daycare? That'd be interesting to see.
Oh, they have these violations. They're still in operation, and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money, and where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing, is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows, they're writing the checks.
Yeah, I find it funny that no one in whoever authorizes these payments doesn't find it odd that one daycare is getting a check for a grant, and then another daycare at the same address is getting an equal or larger or smaller check at the same address. So it's kind of like Elon Musk said, if you just look for the fraud, you can find it. And when he said something like that, this is what I imagine right here. It's so in your face, and anybody that thinks critically about it be like, wow, I'm mailed the same check to, or mailed a check to the same address 22 times. I've dispersed funds, because it's the same office that's doing the dispersing. It's not like it goes to one office to another office. It's a grant. So who's handling that, and why haven't they noticed that?
Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This.
And as you guys are going to see, this is yet another example of organized crime. This is, if I understand it correctly, this would be racketeering. This is a coordinated effort of white collar crime, and he'll lay it out, of multiple different people, all within the same community, and they all kind of seem like they're just on board with it. Like, this is our golden goose. We're not going to let you come after our golden goose. So that shows conspiracy, and that shows people know what's going on, and they're allowing it to happen.
This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's
boom, right there. So now we're starting to implicate the people that are dispersing these funds, because you can't tell me that you see this going on. Again, you're writing checks, you're authorizing checks to go to multiple businesses at one address, and no one has ever verified that they're actually doing what they say they're doing. No one wants to see the return on their investment. No one checks up on that. I'd imagine that if you were a legitimate business, all of these things that I'm talking about would come up. You would have people come investigate you and look and make sure that the millions of dollars in taxpayer funding that they just gave you is actually going to a good use. But if you're complicit in fraud, you probably aren't going to do that, right? You're going to kind of bury your head in the sand or act like nothing's happening. And that's why he's illustrating this, because this isn't just a oopsie daisy, we made an accounting error. This is, we turned a blind eye while we knew fraud was going on. And that's my opinion on the matter.
Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history. Anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful, because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going?
This is wild. Like the sheer fact that any one of these agencies that are dispersing these taxpayer funds, if you're from Minnesota, this should alarm you. this is your money. This is what you pay, to the government, and it's just getting given out to these people. And all it takes is a car ride to go to these facilities. And this is what they're about to do. And no one has done this, and they just allowed this to keep going.
Now,
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
so we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans had moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received 1.3 million. In 2021, they got 987,000. In 2022, they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually two daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility as you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
Yeah.
Try to get in, ring the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday.
Yeah, that does it. I mean, other than a sign that says child care center, I know they haven't really zoomed in, or they haven't really zoomed in. The camera hasn't been panned out. This just looks like, commercial office space. This doesn't even look like a child care center. Where is they're not even doing a good job of hiding it. It's just, yep, this is a building. Here's a brick and mortar bit, pay the lease on it and let the money roll in. Like, you look at the windows, I don't know. I've every daycare I've seen has like kids art in the window, and it looks a little inviting. It doesn't look like what's that daycare from Toy Story? Sunny Oaks or whatever, Shady Oaks. That's what this looks like. This looks like a prison more than a daycare.
And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside. Or
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No, can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
What? No, I don't understand you. Sorry.
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location.
What? I don't know if I've never seen a child here. It's a daycare and you just walked into it. So if you don't know what's going on, why are you walking in?
And the fraud only gets more from here. Make sure you stay till the very end of this video to see exactly how much fraud we find.
Did they do that, Jet? They misspelled leering and fix it the next day? That's fucking hilarious. I guess they learned how to spell.
By the time we are done. And before we go to the next location, I want to show you something super interesting about the flags of Minnesota. And here in Minnesota, if you take a look at the Minnesota state flag, they recently changed it, and it very much so resembles the flag of Somalia. And really quick, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor.
I mean, does it resemble the flag of Somalia just because it's blue? I don't think that holds too much water, other than it's sharing some colors, but
to this video, Opus Clip. What used to just be an AI clipper has now become the most powerful AI growth tool for creators. Right now, over 10 million creators can use it.
And if I can use
Free and 3 months at 50% off. And now let's get back into the video. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059.
God.
In fiscal year 2024,
Wow.
$1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next
So this isn't small potatoes. Like, this amount of money could, be working capital to start up a real business. So that it's nothing to sneeze at. It's nothing to say, oh, that's a rounding error. I think a very common thing during some of the fraud that Doge was uncovering was, oh, it's just but a rounding error and blah 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 blah. Yeah, this would be a rounding error on the United States total budget, but this is one city in Minnesota, one state, and we're already at $4 or $5 million right off the bat.
This one is literally one block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open.
Correction, $8 million in fraud.
Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody...
Sounds like it's a common theme to have blacked out windows at fake daycare centers.
Is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that
That's not very professional for a daycare. You shouldn't be smoking around the kids. Come on. I feel like just on that alone, the liberals should be outraged.
daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids. And all the facilities are the same way. All of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door. I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cause I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked?
Hold on. Let's run it back. When he first I worked there before.
Joey, and they would not open the door. Joey.
I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed.
And then
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know.
I don't work there
Were there any
anymore.
kids when you worked here?
He's there.
He got
He's
fired in
there.
How
30
many?
seconds.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
I'm not my son. No! He's a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared.
What? Why are you scared of him? What do you have to be scared of? Me, I'm scared of you too. I don't think Nick Shirley said I'm scared of you. It's I'm scared of you now because you're at risk of cooking my golden goose.
Scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your cutting.
Your
Because
color.
of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah. No.
No.
You said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist.
You can't even understand
So
English.
right now,
Have the
they're all
conversation.
getting mad because he's shown the paperwork
I don't
of this
know that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my
children.
whole life
You
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
Wow.
So now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on?
Ask the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking
That's
for the
not my
owner
proof.
if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
They're getting violent.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's
The proof that there aren't kids there. There aren't kids there. What?
no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Okay.
As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis.
That's not harassment or intimidation or anything.
Like, this is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now. From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells
LEARING. It's a leering center, guys.
Quality Learning Center on the outside of their sign.
I wonder what that phone number goes to. Hold on. I'm gonna see. What is that phone number? 612-702-4012. Let's see. I can't make this up, guys. I cannot make this up. I called the number and I got a disconnected line and then a line busy, and then the call failed. So their phone number doesn't even work.
That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare. Don't open up! So this is Quality
Don't open
Learning
up!
Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
But no. She's not talking about you, Nick. She's talking about all the ice on the ground behind her and around. You know, they probably just got a lot of snow. Yep. It's that's the ice she's talking about. She's not, interfering or harassing at all.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
the
up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think
Go
about that?
away!
Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Jesus.
Go away!
You know where
You're
they-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up!
fraudulently to
Come
this
on.
business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up. It's ice.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a
State of
child daycare
Minnesota
center.
says 99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota.
What's that nice bundle of keys right there? Right on her chest. Is that maybe a key to that building? Is she complicit in this as well? Is that the one that, she doesn't know what ICE looks like, so maybe she doesn't know how to spell learning either. She probably approved the sign.
Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirly, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirly.
Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and
Is
order
she
back
still
in the streets of the
following
United
him?
States.
Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that the
Get
first
rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child. You've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in here.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know, where are the kids?
Right?
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
No, not at all.
And so
Now, come on. All right, let's be rational here. So typically daycares have hours, and they have groups of kids that come in all at one time, whether it be like a before school program, or when the average American goes to work, 9 to 5, between what is it, like 6:30, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning. You should see some heavy traffic in that building, and then between 3 in the afternoon to 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, you should see cars leaving. So why no one he interviews has ever seen anybody go in and out of there, but it's totally legit, right, guys?
you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years.
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's if they get caught for that's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
But yeah, let's talk about Donald Trump's 34 felonies that were fabricated to make him look bad.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy.
That's all of America's reaction right there. That you can't help but laugh, because you understand how ridiculous the scam is and how blatantly our politicians are just allowing it to happen.
I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my god. Oh, where? Yeah, it's just. I've never seen nobody here at all
So how long have you been living here?
since 2017. 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building.
No, not at all.
So this daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's
That is, if you guys will bear with me, Shell Corporation, meaning. Let's look at the definition of a shell corporation. How do I get this up here? Image file, video file. Well, I can't get it up there. But A shell corporation is a legally registered company with no significant assets, employees, or active business operations, existing primarily on paper as a vehicle for financial transaction, asset holding, or obscure ownership, with uses ranging from legitimate purposes like raising startup capital, SPACs, or tax planning, or illicit use like money laundering and what? Fraud. But yeah. So now we're kind of layering on the crimes.
Been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen
Because
anybody
kids
in
don't
there.
actually go in there.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
This place is called Future Leaders Early Learning Center.
Pause. Let's call that number, guys. It's very similar to the first number. The first number was 612-702-4012. 602-703-4094. It's almost like they got all these phone numbers at the same time. But let's see. 612-703-4094. 4094. Did I get that right? Yep.
Hi, please leave a message. I will call you back. Thank you.
That's the Future Leaders Early Learning Center. Hi, please leave me a message and I'll call you back. No business intro. It's almost like it's someone's personal phone number.
And it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million. In fiscal year 2024, they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million, claiming they have 90
million,
children
almost 26 million.
every day of the week, 5 days a week.
I
So
mean,
let's
these
find
people
out.
are making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where this money is going. Is it going to terrorism? Where is it going? But it's theft, it's fraud. And the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime off all this time I've spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct what is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son, little Joey here. Is there paperwork or can I check out the daycare?
No.
No. Why can't I check out the daycare?
It's not here.
Okay, but if I can get paperwork or anything to submit my son, little Joey, to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
You've heard great things? That's what she's thinking right now. What have you heard? We've never had any kids here. What do you mean you've heard great things?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
She wants his business card. Think about that, guys. Next time you go to enroll your kids in daycare, make sure you get your business card ready. Because the business is going to ask for your business card. That's how business cards work, right?
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
Two of Mexico.
They come at 2 o'clock.
Would my son, little Joey, have friends to play with here?
No.
No. No friends for little Joey.
Yes. Sorry.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's
Joey's
still
still
looking for
homeless.
daycare. And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center. as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because
my
of
goodness.
the government funds that they're receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an
Hold on. 1 in 5 autism clinics under investigation. Wow, that's pretty ableist if you ask me. But
because of the government funds that they're receiving, I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center. We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him in the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably.
Probably, so you don't really know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer. What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in. And
what kind of cut off Home Depot door is that? Like, I'm sorry, if this were a legitimate business, would you take your kids there? Because I guarantee you they didn't file off the end of that and make that smooth. That's just a cut hazard right there. It's not even cut straight. Someone like took a Sawzall and cut the top of a door off to make a half door. What in the world? But this is for autism. Look at the dingy lighting up at the top. They got a security camera though, so your kid will be safe if they ever allow them.
One of these centers here, because there's
Why are you asking us about like
the fraud.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot.
This is not a Joey
That's
spot.
her number, but this is a. We can't let you guys in. So.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Wow.
So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner.
Yeah, Jet. 20%. That is 1 in 5. 20% is fraud. So, you know, if you care anything about autism awareness, if you care anything about, you know, making this you know, a more understood and studied mental health issue, 20%, at least in Minnesota, are fraudulent. That's sad.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year, 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Literally the next.
Well, I mean, if you want to take the silver lining out of this, I don't know what they got shut down for, but at least they were doing business to get shut down, as in like someone filed complaints against them for them to have violations with their kids. So something was going on there, and then they just renamed it and said, you know what, the fraud is better. We'll just not allow any kids in and still get the government money.
Hey,
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45
It does
million
take a creative
got sent
mind
to this
to come up
daycare
with
center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is
Watch
different.
out, guys.
Let's see if
There's
we can
ice
see anybody.
outside.
I knocked on the door. Absolutely nobody was inside. And once again, no children could be heard anywhere. So, David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. License for
A bus with no branding, mind you, just a complete white bus. It's not like, it's like they almost don't care about their advertising because they don't need to advertise to anybody.
over 50 kids, no children anywhere, but yet millions of dollars every single year.
so the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars. And again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You'd think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top of all of the childcare centers,
I think that's the question we're
that's
all
just only a
asking
small
right now.
piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home health care industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home health care companies in the same building.
Wow.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
14 home health care companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium. How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here.
Yep.
This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
In a large percentage.
So they went over one afternoon and found the fraud that they found. But the numbers on paper, you go from a surplus of a couple $2 billion to a $24 billion swing in the negative. And a lot of it could be fraud. And it's really sad because there's a lot of better things in the state of Minnesota that money could go to, and it's being used to make people's standard of living increase when on the backs of the taxpayers in the state.
Percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we are about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services. Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. No. Why can't I get healthcare here? No. Wait. Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare.
Wow.
Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are
I'd be interested
three
to
healthcare
see
companies inside of.
I'd be interested to go and see if any of these agencies have websites or phone numbers or anything like that, and to kind of flush out which one of them are legitimate and which one aren't. If any of them are legitimate, because he's just kind of walking through and walking past them. They don't have very inviting offices. It doesn't look like it's a public facing thing, but that'd just be interesting to see with all of this right under the nose of authorities. What are they doing, if anything?
This building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that someone matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay.
So
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
Wait a second. He's trying to assume because they're Somali that everyone's fraudulent. So who is fraudulent? If he's assuming that, quote unquote, everyone is fraudulent, that implies that someone is fraudulent and he's just making claims that aren't true based off of the other people. So who is fraudulent, Miss I Know Everything? And I want to shut down any criticism of this.
This is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, he's not yet. That's literally what he did.
I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave.
Mind you, it's private property paid by your public funds, because I guarantee you he's probably onto something that every business in there is fraudulent. So, yeah, it's private property owned, bought and paid for with public funds that aren't actually doing any good to the public.
It's also when the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
as we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers.
The African Economic Development Solutions. The, hold on, what do we got here? Insurance, tax, and accounting. Oh, they run the books for them.
Operating from inside of the building. Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here you have Den Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another child care center. Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here, you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another Convenience Home Healthcare Aid, Inc. and Child-Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you're trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all of their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
Because your cost to run one building goes significantly down if you share it amongst 22 other fraudulent companies. Your return on investment is a lot higher.
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you.
No, you
about
don't have
fraud.
to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay. As soon as you confront them about the fraud, they get angry. When these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just...
So that's what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about, how do you create these fake clients that don't exist? You just have one guy or, a team of guys, maybe that's what they use this building for, is just go and run through all these forms and reimbursement slips, and, you go file them out and you put them in envelopes, and this one's going to get filed this week. This one's going to get filed this week. So you have a steady stream of fraudulent income. So every single time they sign their name to that is another charge. That is another count of falsifying documents, falsifying records. If you swear it under perjury, that's another count of perjury. And you have to, kind of give them death by paperwork, because they think that because they ask you to put paperwork in, that it's gonna stop people from committing fraud. But all it does is just, make the process, it's a family outing. We're just going to go sign fake documents all day.
File those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
Yep.
So they're essentially just using people saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right. And the Somali community is a very closed community, so everybody's in on it and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate.
I agree, Jet. Jet said Nick Shirly deserves a Pulitzer for this. Yeah, this is, if you go look up the criteria for a Pulitzer, I think he meets that criteria and then some.
Of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud. And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we headed to one more daycare. And this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders who have enabled this fraud to happen. And I knew this video was going to be super dangerous to film because of obviously how hostile it is, and as we are exposing legit fraud happening.
Hey, come on, Nick. You're in a car and you ain't got no seatbelt on. Not safe. Not safe at all, Nick.
I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They came and decided to help me out for this video. So you can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as we are exposing lots of things happening, especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going. And now we're going to the next location. Now, this child daycare center, this one's different than all the other ones we've been to. Tell us about this one.
This one is different because, according to the state of Minnesota, this 312 West Lake Street houses not one, not two, but 3 child care centers and is licensed to hold 102 children. And in fiscal year 2025 was paid $2.66 million by the state of Minnesota.
And this is the building right here.
So look at this. I just found this. This is hilarious. That same company that he just went on, they have changed the name to the Learning Center. That is absolutely hilarious. But
centers. We met this lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at. So right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you recording?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Why is it?
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirly.
Nick Shirly.
And where are you? Which department? That is harassment.
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Oh,
Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We are just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at? Where are the children at in these daycare centers?
I don't care.
How can these childcare centers have no children?
I don't know. No.
There's $2.6 million inside these businesses that were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere. People deserve to know where their taxes are going. If these companies and these daycare centers are making upwards of $2.6 million and there's no children to be seen anywhere, something fraudulent is happening. And that is not make you racist, Islamophobic. This is just the truth of what's happening here in Minnesota. If there's a bunch of white people doing the same thing, we'd be talking about the same issue. This is just fraud at unprecedented levels here inside Minnesota. It's actually very concerning. Where are the children at inside of these buildings? They're nowhere to be seen. Millions of dollars are being sent into these daycare centers all across Minnesota, and there's not a child to be seen anywhere. Here's another daycare center inside this same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir,
Yes.
I told you.
pause. We don't want you to be videotaping anything. What's that? What's that right there? If you don't want anybody videotaping anything, why are you videotaping things? You're not allowed to say you can't videotape me and then have somebody else videotape.
Please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government, yeah.
Oh, we've asked. We have the paper here. So we're wondering where.
And then you got cameras up here. You got 1, 2, 3 cameras just in this shot. Oh, and now he's recording as well. But you don't want them to record.
The money and where the children are at. We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me, period.
Can we talk outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have. She doesn't have permission to record me.
You cannot stop people on the street and question
I didn't realize we were on the street.
them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where are the
You
children?
can absolutely do that. That is America.
You don't
buddy.
have any permission. We have nothing to do with this. You
Okay.
understand?
Then are there
So
children?
leave. Please leave.
You have nothing to do with it. So why are you involved at all? Unless you're trying to cover up for the people that do have something to do with it. Or maybe you just do have something to do with it and you don't want to be caught on camera saying that Nick Shirley's exposing your cash cow.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the children? $2.6 million for a daycare center.
You
Good
ask
God.
whoever you think is doing that. You don't know what you're talking about. So leave. Leave.
Tell us what's happening here then.
I said leave.
We're wondering what's
We
happening.
are not a child care. We are nothing to do with it. We're common people walking. And
Yes.
you are.
We're not accusing you. We're
Common
asking
people
where the
walking
children are at.
Right.
Don't ask me anything.
We're not accusing you. We're asking the daycare centers.
I am not going to answer. You have.
Where are the children at?
Leave. Leave.
We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself. Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking to
the
the
Minnesota
right person.
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here? Answer
You're
the
not
question.
talking
Are
to
there
the right
children?
person. Leave.
There's no children inside this
I
building.
don't know who you're talking to. Leave.
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at? David, they won't even answer. We asked him, plain and simple, where are the children? Do children come here?
This is why I've had my life. I've been attacked twice. Once with a knife, and the other time I was jumped last Saturday by 3 Somali men.
Oh, what do we got this guy right here back doing? Let's watch this guy, guys.
Simply for asking questions about what was going on. And they're very, very violent people. They do not like this fraud to be exposed.
After giving this man plenty of opportunities to answer the simple question, where are the children? He called the cops on us and we headed to the state capitol where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront the state representatives and people in the government who have enabled and let this fraud happen. Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat representatives looked into the abyss, one of them spoke about how none of this is building trust and how this is a nonpartisan issue. So I went and confronted her after that.
Yes, but
He has some very valid questions to ask about what's going on here in Minnesota. And do you think this fraud
I don't know who
crosses?
you are.
My name is Nick Shirly.
Okay.
Do you think this fraud is Republican or Democrat, or just facts that fraud is happening?
I think the fact that
Because
you're talking about it as a partisan issue.
Well, because that's what I heard you
shows
talking
me-
about. That
I know what I said is that what
because
we're talking
we want
about
to build
is
we want to build trust, but fraud is fraud. So why should we be enabling fraud to happen here?
no, I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to
When are you
happen.
going to hold Governor Walz accountable for this?
Okay, sir.
No. This
Sir,
is not.
sir.
When are you going to hold Governor Walz? No. She is a representative for the state of Minnesota. Yes or no?
Excuse me.
Yes. Are you?
If you're gonna talk to me like
Are you
that,
the state? I'm a disability advocate.
If you're
I
going
heard
to
you,
talk
and I
to me
mean,
like
that's
that,
stimulated.
to testify.
Thank you for testifying today.
No.
Ma'am, the facts are the facts that fraud is happening here, and it's not a nonpartisan issue. How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath?
I think
the
if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who both Democrat and Republicans. I
Yes.
think what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested in is telling a story.
I'm sorry. So he asks you a direct question about what are you doing about it, and your answer is it's the Republicans' fault, because I'm sure the Republicans are the ones that are making this fraud go on. I'm sure it's the Republicans that tell you you're Islamophobic if you bring this up. I'm sure it's the Republicans that stonewall and refuse to answer questions and get totally, utterly offended anytime you're called out. I'm sure all of those people in the videos that are harassing Nick are Republicans.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans.
What? So that makes it okay because everybody does it. That's her argument.
There's fraud within the Trump administration. We have is fraud. Private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government,
Why are you in his face?
Democrats or Republicans, are dealing with the issue of how to keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with consumers. I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a 50-state issue.
So don't look at us and our billions of dollars of contribution to that fraud. Don't look at me for dropping the ball on investigating it. Just blame Republicans, because that's the common theme here, and you will see it if you actually pay attention to this. Anytime a Democrat is called out, they project, they deflect, and they accuse you of some ism.
And so, again, it is not a partisan issue. There are Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican chair say she's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that.
Because the one person in government that can stop payment probably should have already stopped payment when she realized there was 22 businesses at the same address receiving checks with her name on it.
Thank you for coming today.
Which means, in case we don't, I haven't alluded to it more, she's probably complicit in the fraud as well. And it probably goes up to the top because these are their voters, the fraudsters.
It's crazy.
Well,
You
saw what happened there?
The state of Minnesota that we live in, and these politicians are just walking off, thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. My people are suffering. I'm scared for my little brother. My people are suffering, and these people just walk off. We have a governor who fucking doesn't care.
Not only does your governor not care, your governor is probably getting kickbacks from this. Your governor probably likes that this is happening because way to stick it to the average man.
How many more people are gonna freaking die? How many more people are gonna go homeless? And how many more people are gonna be trafficked in our freaking system?
$111 million worth of fraud. And I'm just gonna leave it there. There's no excuse for it. There's no blaming. You are in charge. You're allowing it to happen. Your policies led to this. Whether you're complicit in it or you're just incompetent, either way, the Tim Walz administration needs to go down for this. And that's all I have to say. Have a good one, guys.